I wanted to talk to you about the tour, the Dark Purple Slice tour. When I first heard the name, I thought it was a food thing. And then I saw that it was like a critique of you.
Yes.
As in your, as who you were in Kids in the Hall. And maybe you're turning that critique into a positive by naming the tour that?
Oh, without question. And I love purple. I love dark purple. And it's, yes. And the show in a nutshell is about how we use gallows humor to get through the tough times in life. And they describe me as the dark purple slice of the Kids in the Hall. And I am in a way, but I'm also, I'm a humanist. So there's a lot of love in this show.
And I agree with you. Like I am maybe sadly the person that is always trying to make a joke no matter the situation. I'm sure you can attest, sometimes not the easiest thing to do, or you get the odd looks in the room.
Well, it also gets us through the tough times.
100%.
Like without it, we would just be bereft, and I've never lost my sense of humor in the dark times ever. My sister last year, she went in for a cancer operation. She's fine now, but it's like, I remember her saying, best cancer operation ever. And it's like, wow, you can laugh at this moment. I just think that's beautiful.
I was curious, in that article that named you the Dark Purple Slice, did they name what slices the other members were?
No, but I could probably do it for you. Dave's green.
Okay.
Scott's pink, obviously. Kevin is light blue, and Mark is gold.
Mark gets gold.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. I know the show, based on your description of it, has a bit of everything in it. There's obviously music, there's stand-up, there's some theatrics. So it's all kind of rolled into this one show. Was that the plan, to kind of always try to have all those elements, or did it just happen as you were putting it together?
I have done several shows, and I think, we laughingly call it a reboot on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I guess almost 3 years ago now. And I wrote a song called "I'm Not Crazy, I Just Lost My Glasses." And I just kept writing songs. And so that's why I have a record that's going to come out in a few weeks. And there's music, I've always used music to try to tell stories, and, stand up storytelling. It's just what I love. So, these shows just evolve. It's almost like they create themselves. And I've worked with people. I have a director who I work with, but it's like they just evolve, and it's so pleasing. It's so fun to do.
And you mentioned the album, and I know that's coming out in a few weeks. And how, it's a companion piece to the show. So if someone goes to see the show and then they get the album, I know you can get it at the show too, but if they get the album a few weeks later, how do they connect?
Well, there's literally just a few pieces from the record that I do in the show, and then there's a bunch of stuff that I don't do. I don't do the Ballad of Maggie the Bomb Sniffing Dog, for example, which is a story that people love. So, and I change it. Like sometimes I change it. I don't do the same show every night. So I bring songs in and out of it, and stories in and out of it.
So if I'm hearing the album, say a week after I see the show, how is it going to take me back to the show? I guess I'm trying to find the through line, I guess.
Well, you'll remember the 4 or 5 pieces I did from the show, because they're on the record. And then there's my trademark weird sense of humor in everything else.
And I think Maggie the Bomb Sniffing Dog, we need to animate.
Without question. I just need to find an animator, I can't do everything.
No, I agree. But, as soon as I heard the title, I was like, this sounds like an animated short. It just...
Yeah.
And right away, the name of that, Maggie the Bomb Sniffing Dog, sounds like a memorable character, which you've created a ton of over the years, from, obviously Cabbage Head and Eradicator. When I told my friends that I was talking to you, there was a skit that came up that we had to ask you about. I don't know the actual name of it, but we called it Again. It was the old man.
Right.
Yeah. That was a skit that my friend and we talked about it the day after we saw it on TV, and neither of us we weren't laughing at that. And then when we were telling each other about it afterwards, we cracked up and got kicked out of class. So,
that is just about my obsession I don't know. I thought it was so funny that a guy's wife dies and he gets the worst, not the worst. They're probably really sexy, but like just the worst dancers, because and he just can't, it's like being in love with heroin or something, which I've never done. But and by the way, no one ever asks about that sketch.
It's, to me, it's classic. Like, it is. My friends and I quote it. We'll be like, "No, God, again." Like, it's part of our vernacular.
Well, and there's not a joke in it, which is, my stuff. Like, I have some of the greatest jokes that are in the show. At one point last week when I was in Vancouver, I said, I love those 2 jokes more than my 2 children after I made 2 jokes. But no, there's, if not to quote my stuff, but like my pen, there's not a laugh there's not a joke in that. We get some laughs, I think. I don't know. That's just what I do.
Well, I think it's just you have a way of creating these characters that I think both of them, the My Pen character and the Old Man and Again, there's this hilarious desperation.
Well, that's me. I'm obsessive. I am so obsessive. I drive my kids crazy. Like, I say the same thing over and over. And they say, Dad, stop it. You're driving us nuts. And I can't help myself. And that is who I am.
At least they're not laughing at you. So at least you're not saying it in a humorous way.
Oh, they're so tired of me. This is why I have to go on the road, just to give my kids a little break from me.
And then you come back with all new stories to bore them.
Yeah, and they just roll their eyes. and then, like, my daughter goes, are you going to tell more stories, Dad? She's done with me.
I think every kid's are tired of their parents, right? Regardless of who they are. I think it's just the natural order of the world.
Well, I think so too. And like, I had miserable parents. I had kids later in life, so I drive them everywhere. I will do anything for them. I am a sucker. And they make me so happy. So I don't care if they hate me. I'm still going to drive them everywhere.
Exactly. And then doing research, I heard, and this to me was like a total rock star story, but you snorted some ashes at a show once?
Yes, I tell this story in the show.
Okay.
I had a wonderful friend named Kathleen McGee, who was a stand-up from Edmonton. And I was with her for her cancer journey, massaged her feet a week before she died.
Oh.
And when she passed, her husband gave her close friends her bits of her ashes to spread in interesting places. And it turned out I was hosting a comedy show at Massey Hall in Toronto. And I told him the story. I said, she never got to play Massey Hall, but there's a way she could. And it freaked people out that I released her ashes on the stage. And then something came over me and I snorted them. And as I say in the show, it's because I always want her to live inside me. I want her to always be with me, and which is what I feel. So I think people find it a bit freaky, but it's kind of beautiful too.
It is. There is a beauty in that. Where does Bruce McCulloch want his potential ashes put?
Well, you're going to snort some.
Okay.
Fucker. And I don't know. Like I'm fine to be in an urn. I hope but you know what? I don't even want to give my kids the responsibility of having to have my ashes.
Right.
I tell a story where I just say, all I want to do is die with a big laugh. And, that's all I care about. I don't care about my legacy. It's nice that I have kids that are going to reverberate in this earth, but shoot me out of a cannon. Give me a laugh.
That's a good way to go. Like, I think if we could all go with a big laugh, that would be ideal,
For sure. Yeah.
I told my wife I wanted to be spread at the Haunted Mansion at Walt Disney World, and I don't think she'll do it for me. So,
well, this is a funny story. I worked with. Do you know who Jeff Garlin is?
Yes.
Yeah. He put his son's foreskin at because he didn't know what to do with it. At It's a Small World After All, Disney. It's in his book. It's not like he told me this story. It's in his book. Isn't that crazy?
That also seems like a sad, mean commentary on your son.
I don't know. Like I wouldn't know what to do. But it's so funny. I think it was more like the pain that he knew he had this and he had to get rid of it somehow and give it new meaning, and he just didn't know how to do it.
I'm never going to look at that ride the same now.
I know.
I'm taking charity kids there in 2 weeks. I'm not going to look at it the same.
Oh my God.
You did spend a lot of time here working with our Trailer Park Boys. You acted with them. You directed them. I've done a lot of events with them. The boys can be a handful. So how was that experience?
Oh, they're the nicest man in the world. And, you know, I had also directed Schitt's Creek right before I did that. And it was fun. It was more stressful because it was sort of maybe high octane stakes or something. And then I got there, and they just embraced me, and they just said, "Oh fuck, we love you, Bruce." And they were just so open. Rob would just say, "What are my words in this scene? Give me some words." And I've never shot faster. Like in normal TV, you shoot like 3 pages a day. I would shoot 20 a day.
Oh wow,
those guys. And they were so interesting. Everyone in Halifax loves them. Yes. They were like, we don't need permits. We're the Trailer Park Boys. It's like, we can hang off a car in the middle of Halifax. I go, yeah, we can do whatever we want. We're the Trailer Park Boys. And it was so refreshing, and they're so kind. And I think the thing I love about that show is they love each other, and it shows. And then Bubs is always going, "Oh, I love you. You made me make the hash, and you wrecked me, but I still love you." Like there's such a male love there that I think is so refreshing.
Is two little follow-ups on that. One, any chance of working with them again in the future? And then I guess two, as a comic yourself, when you're directing comedic stuff, do you ever have the delivery, like, does it sometimes get you where like, no, the delivery has to be like this?
No. And you know what? Because I didn't know it. I was not great to work with in my 30s and 40s. I'm amazing to work with now. And one of the things I learned from the Trailer Park Boys is never pitch a joke twice. Like if you pitch them a joke and they like it, they're going to take it. Right. So they don't need to hear it a second time. You go, "Hey, I still like that joke." They'll just stare at you. And so it's a really interesting thing to have learned. And like I work on all kinds of TV shows now, and that's one of the things I learned from them. Nice.
And so is there any chance of working with them in the future? Have you had any chats? Because I know
always want to work with them. You know, we were writing a film at one point called Boner Weed, and it's never happened. I'm just waiting for them to call me. You know, they're busy, I'm busy, but I would always do anything for them.
Next time I talk to them, I am bringing up Boner Weed. This needs to happen.
Yeah, I flew there on my own money just to break this story with them. I want to work with them so badly.
We will make it happen. I promise, Bruce. We'll make it happen.
Thank you.
We'll make it happen.
I'm glad you have pull.
I don't know if I have pull, but I know a few people over there, so I'll make some calls.
Yeah.
I know you were super close with Gord Downie as well, and this year, surprisingly, is the 10th anniversary of that final show for the Hip. Is there anything you can share about Gord that I guess maybe we don't know about Gord, despite all that we know about Gord, if that makes sense?
Yeah, well, it's in my show. He was hilarious. And just obsessed with doing good, obsessed with Canadian art. I bought him a book on Canadian art. He said it changed his life. He was just hilarious and so kind. But here was the frustrating thing about Gord Downie. You go see his show, you wait an hour and a half for him to come out after the show. I guess he's, I don't know, showering and smoking dope. You come to see my show, I come out 1 minute after my show's over. But no, he was just so kind and funny. And just so lovely. And just so, like, certain people, the world's almost too hard for them.
Right.
And he was such a poet, you know? And I remember because I directed their My Music at Work video, and he came over to my house, and I said, we thought we were each auditioning each other. I had the job, apparently. I didn't know that. And he was hoping I would do it. And I was like, I'll do anything for you, bro. But I remember talking for a long time about what I wanted to do with it. And he said, everything you just said doesn't make any sense to me, but I still want you to direct the video. Like that's how his brain was.
That's fantastic. And yeah, I knew you had a close relationship with him. And yeah, I was just talking to friends the other day and we were like, wow, it's been going to be 10 years, which is crazy when we were thinking about it.
You know, I do this story about him. I did it right after he died. And I remember doing it in Calgary, and people were dripping tears, like so upset, and they thought it was so moving. And so I had to retire it for a while. And then because the nature of this show is about gallows humor, getting us through, I feel really happy to be able to do it again. But it was almost too much for me to do it every night. But now, as you say, it's been a decade, and I'm still very friendly with his brothers. Like it's time again, and he's evergreen, and they're evergreen,
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a joy to do it. And as I say, he can't do his story. I have to do it because he's not here anymore.
Yeah. And again, like the show being about gallows humor and that, and I'm sure, like, I don't know if you've ever had this situation where you make a dark joke, but it's almost too dark for the room. Like, did that ever happen for you in any writing sessions or anything? And
well, I've looked at material. I remember when we were writing Kids in the Hall, and we were like, we were 25 years together at that point, and we said, you know what else is 25 years old is AIDS. Let's do a birthday party for AIDS. And then we talked about it and laughed our heads off, and then we said, we can't do this. This is too dark.
Right.
And we've lost, Scott lost half his friends. So we just couldn't do it. But no, I think there's love in the stuff I do. I do tell the story of that I accused Gord of going on tour for the money. I tell that story in the show. And his hilarious retort and stuff. Like, I never want to hurt anyone, and it's weird. I know I did Cancer Boy.
Yes.
And I didn't have cancer. So I think I had the right to do that because I loved that little boy. And I love I can't even look at cancer ads, like those sweet children who are with their bald heads and their yellow shirts. Oh my God, it's too much. But I felt like I wanted to bring him to life. But that's, so there's places that I've gone that are almost too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know for the audience.
And I mean, and it's always a personal thing for the audience, right? It's things are going to hit different people differently. But I've always said it's not your job to know everybody's story.
No, and here's what I have now. I do crowd work with the audience, and I won't tell you what I do, but it's very fascinating. And I say to people, like, who's had a bad year? And everybody's hand goes up. And I go to people and I tell them I ask them what's going on with them. And they will say, like my previous interview, my wife died last week. He just told me.
Right.
And that's everywhere. And for some reason, I have the ability to take that on. I won't tell too much about it. I have another friend who I worked with professionally who contacted me and said, I have brain cancer. I need to talk to you. And I sent him cookies and talked to him, and we laughed our fucking heads off. And I can do that. Like, the show isn't all about that. The show is uplifting, but I'm not afraid of that for some reason now.
No, and that I think is freeing as a performer, right? Like, you can just kind of go where you need to go, and the audience will come along with you.
And they will. And if it was ever too much, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of doing a one-person show. And having done it over and over, the audience teaches you what it should be.
Yeah. And, I don't want to keep you forever. I could, but I imagine you probably have a ton of these to do today. We're looking forward to having you back in Halifax, Bruce. It's going to be an honor. Before I let you go, I think people would yell at me if I didn't ask. I know you guys are all off doing solo things right now, but is there anything lined up for kids in the future?
We've been doing fan expos because and then we always do a weird show that's the craziest thing you've ever seen. We always go like, let's do a big tour, and then we go, nah. But they are in my hearts. Like Kevin sang the Daves I Know with me in Winnipeg last week. And I text them and talk to them all the time. Scott, I text Scott every week. Kevin the same. And we're out there. We're still, and by the way, Scott's one-person show and Kevin's one-person show right now are so amazing that in a way we're out there. Because I'm going to count myself too. We're out there doing our jobs. I love doing this show, and I love communicating with people. And I didn't always. I've learned to do it in my life in a way that's more profound for me. So, and I don't mean that to have ego or anything like that. It's just, I can't believe anyone will come see me at this point. Like, why would anyone put on clothes and go see Bruce McCulloch and hear his weird ideas? It makes me so happy.